see, or you hear at least, the closing bell on this Thursday, October 4th, 2009. Quite a few drops on the indexes today.
Yeah, pretty rough day here. Certainly one for the bears. Let's take a look at the action today as the market settles in. And folks, we really did take another leg down here in the last few minutes of the session. That means we are ending at session lows, down 2.6% on the S&P 5000, 1029 there. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a decline of almost 2.2%, down 209 points, 95.02. And the Nasdaq, big drop there, down 3%, 2057, down 60, almost 65 points. All right, let's get a breakdown of what really drove the markets today. Let's head to Suzanne O'Halloran. She's down at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Brian Luke at our markets desk looking at commercial real estate in relations to the bond market. We've got Laura Lee on this first day of the fourth quarter taking a look at historical trends during this period. And still with us is our featured guest, David Joy from RiverSource Investments. Suzanne, I got to start with you. A tremendous drop. I know the economic news played into it, but talk to me about the day here.
Well, that's right, Carol. Along with today's economic news, investors and traders are very concerned about tomorrow's jobs report and how that may be weaker than expected, especially after we got that manufacturing and jobless claims data that showed bigger than expected losses or wider than expected expectations. So we really had investors worried about economic growth today. That sent investors out of stocks, particularly the financials, materials, and the names like Caterpillar and Dow member Boeing, all trading lower today, all big weights on the market. Also, if the economy is going to be a slower recovery, Carol and Matt, then earnings are going to be in trouble. And Microsoft today being talked about at Goldman Sachs, taking off their conviction buy list. Analyst Sarah Fry are very concerned about first quarter profits and how they may be at risk. I know she's your guest coming up in just a few moments on the program. Now her call, as I mentioned before, has broader implications beyond Microsoft because technology stocks have been leading this economic recovery. They are your leaders this year. If earnings are slowing, that could be a problem for the broader equity markets. We have tech stocks up over 40% this year, chip stocks up nearly 50%. So that's something that investors are going to be paying more attention to as we do move into the earnings season, which begins next week. I do want to mention we had some positive news today in the chip sector. Teradyne lifted its third quarter profit and sales forecast. The company's CEO says their demand's improving. And also, Matt, Cisco did a $3 billion deal buying the company in Norway, Tendberg, to get their video conferencing business. We know CEO John Chambers is a serial acquirer, but this is a pretty big deal for Cisco. That could be viewed as a positive. But today, investors really focused on that jobs report tomorrow, and they are expecting a worse than expected number. Matt?
All right, thanks very much.